So, the response on my last video was pretty damn good. A lot of you guys genuinely did enjoy the video, even though it was a little bit short. You really like, me trying something new, me doing a little bit more, motivational work. However, some of you guys out there, you felt kind of cheated, didn't you? I read the comments. I don't just skim through them. I take a look. And you're saying, Igor, what the hell? 3 minutes? I feel cheated. Where is my 40-minute ramble video? Where's the whiteboard? What the hell's going on? And honestly, guys, I can't help but think, okay, is that what you want? Is that what you need? Because if that's the case, I got you covered. Alright, that's enough of that. Don't want no copyright strike on this one. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today, I wanted to do a little bit of an update. My most recent last few videos, talking about random concepts and topics, which is great and all, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are wondering, okay, that's great and all, Igor, but what the hell is going on in your life? What are you actually doing? Are you getting anywhere close to this 365-pound bench press, which you keep on talking about and, boosting up in our minds? Boosting up, what the fuck? What is that? What is that even? But today we're getting back on track with the Ascension, regularly scheduled programming, and we're going to be talking a lot about 3 separate things. Number 1, I have an official announcement as to what's going on with this powerlifting meet. I talk about that, in previous videos. I don't like these kind of like wishy-washy, weird, random, arbitrary goals. I want to get stronger. How much stronger? I don't know. Doesn't matter. When do you want to know? I don't know. Generally, no, fuck that shit. We have an official date, and it is June 1st, 2019. It is, as I predicted, at the Toronto Pro Supershow, right here in downtown Toronto, my hometown, which is going to be kind of cool. It's pretty much like the Arnold Classic or Olympia equivalent, except in Canada, and that means it's like 1/4 the size, but it's the best we got, and it's still pretty cool. This is fucking it. Today's the last day of February, which means I've got like, what, maybe-ish 3 months to get my bench press up, considerably above the highest level it's ever been at, so it really is do or die. And this is also a big deal because if a lot of you guys out there are going to be at the Toronto Pro Show and you do see me compete, I better not fucking embarrass myself. And this actually brings me into the second thing I want to talk about today, the piece de resistance. You guys asked for it. Here it is. We got a whiteboard, long rant, 30-minute lecture video backed by popular demand. So this video, I want to take this time to talk about 2 things. Number 1 is my overall training strategy recently and going forward. I think this is going to be a really big deal for a lot of you guys out there. It's going to be directly applicable because chances are like 99% of you are all going to find yourself training, whether you realize it or not, in one of 3 different strategies. And I'm going to tell you why over the last few months and going forward, I'm actually going to be utilizing all 3. I know that kind of sounds weird, like, Igor, what the hell are you talking about? What are these strategies? Why are you bouncing around between not just 2, but 3 I mean, what the hell is going on? Trust me, it's all going to make sense. And after we explain all of this in the next, I was going to say like 10 minutes, but let's be honest, it's probably going to be like 30, but again, you guys asked for it. You got it. Afterwards, we're actually going to take some time and jump into a workout commentary. I'm going to show you guys actually, like, I can talk the talk, but can I walk the walk? And what am I actually doing? We're going to get into a training commentary. Getting back on track, the most important thing. Essentially, we got 3 different types of training strategies. We got regular, or I might call it balanced, which again, it'll all make sense in a second. We got linear, and we got something which I like to call specific. In the last few months or so, this is my past, this is my present, my current training strategy, and this is going to be my future, essentially the next few months leading up into the competition. Number 1, you got regular here. This, I've been training, and a good example of this is my actual training program, Hybrid 5. Hybrid 5 is the training, bodybuilding and powerlifting kind of like hybrid mix program that I launched pretty much this time last year actually, so it's almost been like a 1-year anniversary. And for the record, I'm using my program Hybrid 5 as an example, but I don't want you guys to take that as like, oh, specifically this is my program. I mean, I'm just saying any kind of regular program that you are using, which has an emphasis on both size and strength, and the most important thing is that it has an overall balanced and even approach to its development. So you are using something where, let's say you're doing squats, bench, and deadlift. The main 3 compound exercises, the fundamentals, and you're training an even amount of time, an equal amount of time in terms of emphasis of energy, time, training frequency, like maybe you do 2 times per week on the deadlift, 2 times per week on the squat, 2 times per week on the bench press. Everything is in general even a good standard regular training strategy. I was doing this for about a good amount of time, pretty much up until late December. That's actually what led me into my recent 315 for 1 bench press PR video. I think I put it up like about a month or so. My body weight was only like what, 182, 183, so that's not bad. Hybrid 5 kind of helped me get up there, and that was good. Usually people train all these muscle groups and lifts relatively evenly because it makes sense. If you want to develop an overall symmetrical and proportional body, you want to train everything. You want to give everything a good amount of love, for lack of a better word. And this is fun, and this is great. So you guys may be wondering, well, why do you have these 2 other options? Why did you switch? Well, this is where things kind of get shitty because at the end of December, as I do every freaking year, because thank you, Canada. Guys, what the fuck? It's literally like snowing upwards. Like, God freaking damn it, Canada! I got sick. Again, it's shitty, but I caught like the flu or something. I was out for 2 or 3 weeks. You lose like 10 pounds in water and muscle weight like that. Your strength goes down to like 70% of what it normally is. But afterwards, I recovered. I felt better, and then I needed to get back into training, but I didn't go back to my regular style training. In this case, Hybrid 5. But again, this could be any kind of training program you use, as long as it's relatively effective. It's not made for absolute noobs, absolute beginners, and most importantly, it follows some level of periodization. I don't want to get too much into that. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll do a video on it in the future. But essentially, in super layman's terms, periodization pretty much means you're doing a training program where you're not just going to the gym and doing the exact same thing, workout to workout, week to week. There actually is some level of manipulation of the variables, whether it be intensity, volume, frequency. Maybe you're switching up exercises, that would be a form of conjugate periodization. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Point is, most programs out there, as long as they're relatively good, most of the ones that you guys have actually heard about, they have some level of periodization worked into them. For example, my Hybrid 5 program has actually 3 levels of periodization kind of layered on top of one another. You need that, otherwise it's not a very good, not a very, I was going to say advanced, not even intermediate level programs, even they need some level of periodization. The only kind of programs that pretty much don't need anything like that at all are linear programs, where you just go in the gym. For example, in my case, I've been doing this. I go in the gym, and I've been doing 4 sets of 6 reps on my main lifts, namely the bench press, because that is my baby going forward. That is by far my main focus. And I just started with a weight, in my case, 225 pounds, which isn't that high for me. For some of you guys out there, maybe a lot, maybe a little, but whatever, it's all relative. But like I said, after getting sick, yeah, it fucked me up to the point where me doing 225 was pretty damn hard. So I actually started doing 4 sets of 6 reps, and I started off at 225. And the reason it's linear is that every time you complete it, maybe every workout or every week or whatever you're doing, that's it. Just goes up, right? 225. Next week, 235. If you get it, great. 245. You got that? Great. 255. And I just kept on going up, up, up. Now, here's where things all start to, connect and make a little bit of sense, because you guys are wondering, what the fuck are you doing this beginner style of training, Igor? You have over a decade of experience. I probably have more experience in the gym than 99% of you guys watching this. I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I'm just saying it is a fact. I'm 27. I've been training since my 14th birthday. I fucking love this shit. I've been doing it for a while. This should not work for me. Linear progression is fantastic for beginners. Those in the gym for 6 or 12 months. They can get stronger workout to workout, week to week. If you guys are watching this and you're probably in your first 12 months or so of training, you can do this and it's awesome. And a big reason is because you're weak. I'm not trying to insult you, but yeah, you are. And that's okay, that's pretty damn awesome. The weaker you are, the more room you have to grow. But there's a second kind of person who could do this, and I want you guys to pay attention if you fall into this category, because if you can, it's pretty damn awesome. And like me, you should stop doing regular style training and you should do this temporarily. And that is people who took a considerable amount of time off from the gym, because in my case, I got sick, or in your case, it could be anything else. You have a new baby, you had kids, work got in the way, whatever it may be. Some people tell me Igor, I'm traveling in Europe on a bike for 2 months. I can't do anything besides push-ups in my hotel room. What do I do? Well, I mean, you're kind of screwed, but when you get back, it's gonna be so good. The really good thing about linear progression is that, the fuck happened here? It is fast. Like I said, you are getting stronger pretty much workout to workout, week to week, maybe every other week. It's awesome. If you're putting on 10 pounds every 2 weeks, there's 52 weeks in a year. That's 200, it's 26 sessions. That's 260 fucking pounds in a year. It's awesome. But think about that. If that was the case and everyone can do that for a full year, then everybody out here will be walking around with 350, 400 pound benches. It's not gonna happen. And the reason behind that is because the bad about linear progression is that it is, unfortunately, as I'm learning recently, it is temporary. You cannot do this forever. If you're only a beginner for so much time in your life, if you train consistently, you can probably go from a beginner to an intermediate in as little as 6, 8, maybe 12 months at the absolute most. And at that point, you're probably taking too much time. You're probably dicking around. It's awesome, but it's not going to last because your body adapts, which is why linear progression is awesome. It's fun. If you can do it, if you're a beginner, if you're getting back in the gym after a considerable amount of time off, it's fantastic. I recommend it. It's not going to last. And this is pretty much where I'm pretty much at the end of this. I started off at 225 and I got all the way up to around, well, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to talk about it later in the video, but I did that recently. It was actually yesterday's workout and it was awesome. It felt so good. It felt great. I'm done. I know for a fact that last set on that last rep, I'm like, I am not going to be able to just go and put 10 more pounds for another 6 reps and another 4 sets. That's like what, 240 pounds of additional work capacity in 1 week? No, it's not going to happen. And that's okay because most of us, we can't do that. That's why most of us, we train like this for a while and eventually we have to switch to a more regular style system where you are getting stronger and you're progressing, not week to week or workout to workout, but cycle to cycle. That's where you need some level of periodization. In my case, Hybrid 5, the cycles are around, depends on which version you are using. There are multiple versions that come when you buy it, but the standard one is 40 days, just over a month. Either way, so that's been great, and I'm pretty much done with this. You know, I was sick, I started doing this, it was fun. Now that I'm recovered, I need to switch to a more advanced, not advanced, but intermediate level strength style program. So you guys may be thinking, Igor, why don't you go back to what you were doing before? I mean, isn't that kind of hypocritical? This is your baby, your program, you made it, shouldn't you be using it? And the answer is yes, under normal circumstances. But this isn't normal circumstances, and this is what actually brings me back to this, which you guys may be wondering, why is this, you know, what's the bad part of this? Why did you leave this blank? Well, the problem is because it's also even. So I know you guys are thinking like, wait, it's good that it's even, it's bad that it's even? What the hell does that make sense? It all depends on your personal goals, your personal preferences. If you want to build an overall body, this is great. And if you're equally strong or unfortunately equally weak in all the main lifts, yeah, a regular approach is probably your best bet. But that's not what we're doing this year, is it? This year we are focusing on the bench press. I keep talking about how my goal is a 365 bench press. What do I get on the deadlift? Honestly, I don't give a shit. For example, a lot of people out there, they always ask me, Igor, when is someone considered strong? You know, respectable levels of strength where I could be proud in myself. And I always tell them a good ratio to go for would be 1.5 times your body weight bench, 2 times your body weight squat, and 2.5 times your body weight deadlift. And also, if you're interested, 1 times your body weight overhead press. Let's say someone comes to me and they're pretty much around, give or take, these numbers for everything, and then one of their lifts, like the squat, is completely off. Let's say they bench 1.5 times their body weight and they squat 1.5 times their body weight. That's not good. What the hell is going on here? Your quads are significantly bigger and should be stronger muscle groups than your chest. It just makes sense. It's like someone coming in and saying, hey, I squat as much as I bicep curl. What? Your biceps are like 1/5 the size of your quads. That doesn't make much sense. You either have insanely strong biceps or more likely you just have, bro, do you even squat? Do you even leg day, bro? Not counting calves, that doesn't count, screw that. So if someone comes to you with that kind of problem, are you gonna train an even distribution, an even program for everything? No, you may wanna put a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, a little bit more frequency into that weaker muscle group. The benefit to this is that you get maximum development. This essentially means that I would be training the bench press in some form or another 3 times per week, and everything else would be trained 1 time per week, once for legs, once for back. And it's not going to be the exact same training strategy all 3 times throughout the week because that would make no sense. Again, we need some level of periodization. We need to switch up and manipulate, change some of these variables. What I'm planning on, again, it's kind of like a rough draft I have in my head. I'm working on it in Excel, but essentially it's going to have like a light day, a high intensity heavy day, combined with touch and go, regular bench press, and paused reps with alternating different rep schemes. And also there's going to be a special variety day where we do different kinds of exercises. Examples of this would be using exercises which are similar to the bench press but not exactly the same thing, such as the floor press, the paused bench, which I just mentioned, something called the Spotto press, which probably a lot of you guys out there don't even know what it is, but it is pretty interesting, and I do think it's going to be really helpful this time around in my off season. Also the pin bench, where you train just the lockout portion of your bench press. So it's almost like you're kind of doing half reps on the bench press. We don't actually come all the way down to the chest. You're actually benching like this. It's that last 20 to 30% of the lift, the lockout. If you can't do that using something like the pin bench or the slingshot bench, another exercise variation, doing all these things, it's going to prove to be extremely invaluable. And finally, to top it all off, okay, I talk about why it's so awesome, why it's so good. What's the bad about training specifically? And that is because you're going to have to... There's going to be some sacrifice. I'm not saying you're going to completely give up on your squat, your deadlift, your overhead press, whatever it is you may be doing, your back development, your leg development. I'm just saying it's probably still actually going to progress as long as you're training hard, eating properly. It's just not going to happen, you know, as fast and as optimally as you would if you kind of did an overall regular training strategy. Let's say you were training like this. Maybe your bench, squat, and deadlift, they all go up 20 pounds. Maybe if you're training like this, your deadlift and squat, you know, go up like 10 pounds, but your bench goes up 40, 45, 50 pounds. You know, is that better or worse? Well, it's up to you. It's up to the individual. It's up to the person's goals. And in my case, that's what I want. If my bench goes up to 365, again, this magical number that I keep on talking about, my 2019 goal, and then my squat and my deadlift don't go up at all, fuck it. That's a sacrifice that sucks, but I'm willing to make it because I may not have, you know, it's not an embarrassingly bad squat and deadlift. I have competed before and my squat and deadlift is okay, but my bench is going to be out of this fucking world, again, for a natural lifter, and I'll be satisfied with that. I'll be pretty damn happy. Alright guys, workout commentary, let's go. First things first, on the screen right now, I think this is going to be a really good way to illustrate and visualize, you know, the last 2 months for you guys. And also, let's be honest, this is not a patented classic VitruvianPhysique vlog without at least one chart, 2 Excel tables, 17 different calculations. You know me. Come on guys, did you really think we're going to go through the entire video without at least one of these bad boys? Please. So, starting right off the bat, in late December, this was my 1 rep max. At the time, this was pretty damn good. It's not as strong as I have been in the past, but I was like 99% of the way there. And at that low body weight, pretty damn happy with it. So everything's good, full steam ahead. It's time to go, you know, not just back up to normal, but even stronger. And that's when I got sick and everything kind of went to shit. Body weight dropped, strength dropped, everything was crap. But if you guys have ever experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Got back in the gym and I started, you know what? I was thinking, I gotta get back to normal. I don't got time to be like, all right, I'm gonna ease back into it. I just jumped right back into my regularly scheduled programming with Hybrid 5. What you guys are seeing on screen right now, this is 285 pounds. This in my programming, it was a 6+ AMRAP. Every workout usually will have like 1 main set. It's like everything else is nice and it's important, don't get me wrong, but this set is important, not just for the programming, but for you, because this set is going to be used to calculate what your current strength, your estimated 1 rep max is. So a difference of just a few reps could mean a difference of a new estimated 1 rep max lifetime PR, or you're not doing that good. And in this case, unfortunately, it was option number 2. I had to do 6+, meaning that 6 is the minimum, but you want to be doing a little bit more. Usually I want to do around 1.5 times whatever that first number is. So a 4+, you should probably get around at least 6, 7, around there. And a 6+, you probably want to be getting 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 reps. And in my case, as you guys are seeing, I got 6, which... it's not that good. I told myself, you know what, Igor, you should have gotten considerably more than this. You're better than this, but, you know, that time off definitely did mess you up a little bit, to say the least. So what I decided to do is jump into this linear progression. This is what I showed you guys earlier. I kind of just started off, And then every week or so, you know, 5, 6, 7 days, I'd go back in the gym and I kept on doing the same thing, 4 sets of 6 reps. I started off with like 225, and then I just kept on going up week after week, all the way up until pretty much now. I filmed 4 sets of 275, 6 sets of 4, and this is actually kind of cool because that's the most I have ever gotten in previous years. Not even like last year, but the year before that, when I was like 205 pounds at my biggest, strongest, heaviest I've ever been. That was the most I ever got. Not 1 rep max, but volume, like sets and reps. What you guys are seeing on screen now, this is cool. This is uncharted territory. I actually did this recently, just a few days ago. This is 285 pounds successfully for 4 sets of 6. I only filmed the last set because the first set, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's not that, if you're gonna fail, in my case, I'm not gonna fail on set 1, 2, or 3. It's that last set. That's where you're actually pushing you're pretty much going all the way to failure. And as you guys saw here, it's pretty damn good. Not just because I did it successfully, but because of the bar speed, the form, you know, keeping my head and my ass actually on the mat, not doing that bullshit where you're pretty much like going so far back and your ass comes off the mat and it pretty much turns into a decline bench because your form is just atrocious. This is a big deal and it feels so fucking good because as you guys saw just a few minutes ago, when I was recovering, when I got back in the gym after being sick, I thought, you know what, let's try this out. I got 6 reps with this same weight and not that great form, I gotta say, and it was so difficult. It was like 100% to failure. So to do this 4 fucking times, not 1 set, but for 4 sets, and in my opinion, do it better form, better bar speed, better everything, and to do that after like, what, a month and a half, this is awesome. The good news is that I am fully back to normal. I am recovered. You know, this kind of like downtime which sucked in January, I got over it. And one thing I want to add to that is a lot of you guys are probably dealing with something like this as well, you know, outside of your training, which influences your training. And it sucks, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. You know, kids, work, sickness in my case. And do you guys ever hear this quote? It was, accept what you can't change and change what you cannot accept. This is a good example of that. What you can change is your fucking attitude, is your consistency, your diet, things that you know you should be focusing on. If you're not, change that. But on the other hand, things that sometimes are not, unfortunately, you know, in your control, such as my friggin' immune system in this case, there's not much I can do about it. The only thing you can do is when you get, you know, when you fall off the horse and it sucks, I was weaker, I pretty much lost a whole month of progress. Can you sit here bitching, why this, I'm gonna quit, life is unfair. You know, this guy didn't happen to him. I was even thinking like, oh, it's unfair because I live in Canada and it's freezing. And if I'm gonna, you know, competing, whether it be, you know, just even like metaphorically, like I'm competing against other guys on YouTube and they live in California and they live in Texas and it's warm and it's beautiful. And for them, it's like 23 degrees and sunny and we just got a foot of snow and it's like -10 outside. And I thought that's not fair. For me, it's so much harder to, you know, to stay healthy all year round. Well, that's just fucking excuses. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna change the weather? Am I gonna yell at the sky and yell at God? Am I gonna bitch at myself for like, you should have a stronger immune system? I mean, yeah, you could, you know, better diet, better sleep, just washing your hands and all that shit. But at the end of the day, this is something which was essentially out of my control. And instead of wallowing in self-pity, fuck it. You fall off the horse, you get back on the horse, you make a plan, you make a strategy, even if it means diverting from your usual plan, such as in my case, because I had to jump to linear progression as opposed to my standard hybrid 5 programming. I had to go back to the drawing board and be like, I can't do what I'm normally doing because I'm experiencing a situation which is not normal. And it worked. It's pretty damn good, and I'm pretty happy to say that the second piece of good news is that not only did I recover, not only am I back to normal, but honestly, guys, I think I'm like, not 100%, but I'm like 102, 103% back to normal because I have never in my life done this volume, 285, 4 sets of 6 reps. I've done 275 in the past, so this is pretty damn good because I went down in strength because of the sickness, and then I came up and then some. And that feels pretty damn good because I didn't just succeed, you know, going forward normally, but it's kind of like, imagine someone beats you up, knocks you down, and you get back up to something that's even better than you were before. Feels pretty, it's kind of like in Dragon Ball Z when Goku or Vegeta, because they're, you know, they have Saiyan blood, they have that property when Saiyans are pretty much, when they get the shit kicked out of them.
The only way we can beat Frieza is for you to whip me to within an inch of my life. Because as you just witnessed, a Saiyan's power grows stronger after recovering from serious injuries.
And they're near death and they recover. they just biologically, for some reason, they come back a little bit stronger. I fucking love that. That was one of my favorite things about, you know, Dragon Ball Z, about just metaphorically, not even the show, but just, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And to actually see that embodiment in Dragon Ball Z, or in my case, in this programming, feels fucking good, as you guys are seeing on screen. And honestly, guys, I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty damn good. Last thing I want to mention before we end off this video, and I couldn't include it in this video because this video is already, what, like 30 minutes long? I apologize. It's definitely a classic VitruvianPhysique ramble long video, but again, you asked for it. We are going to be attempting 315 pounds one more time. I don't want to go for a 1 rep max because I consider that to be a little bit too dangerous, and the last thing I want to do is injure myself, tear a pec, tear a tendon, you know, do any of that stuff like 3 months before my competition. So I'm going to be attempting another 315 AMRAP, as many reps as possible. The first time, you know, about a month and a half ago, I got 1. How many could I do this time? And I don't know why I'm saying in the future, because actually I've already done it. We're going to cover that in the next video, so definitely be on the lookout for that sometime next week. Oh, and also, if you want to know what it is right now, spoiler alert, you can go check it out on Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, why not? It's awesome, Vitruvian_physique. So if you guys can't wait until the next video, you want to see how many reps did I get on 315, did I beat my all-time best, go check it out on Instagram right now. But for the rest of you, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you, and yeah, I'll see you then.